Hello, my astrology friends and family from around the world. This is Lada from Astrolada.com. And with a very sensational news is the astrologer Trifon Nikolov coming in. We're going to speak about November as well, but also what is coming in 2024 and what is currently happening in the Middle East. Hello, Trifon.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Nice to be here again, even though the comments that are following, of course, will be about difficult topics. First, some retrospection. Everybody know what happened in the last days. I will just comment now about the past videos. If you remember, in the past videos, the past 2 months, there were comments about certain comet called Nishimura, on the name of the discoverer of the comet, and ancient text was mentioned commenting about the meaning of such type of comet that is dropping from Leo. So literally, and this was cited in the videos, it is saying that the king dies and his enemy is made happy. And in the region of Babylon, it goes out somebody who is content in the kingdom and predatory beasts are aroused. So now we already know that there are conflicts in the region of Babylon, which is ancient Mesopotamia. This includes, of course, Israel and Gaza.
Also, Babylon was Leo. Is Leo the area there?
Well, different opinions by the ancients. They like to depict themselves with lions, but actually in the ancient texts, they relate themselves to, which is very interesting, Virgo. And the eclipse that happened was actually in Virgo.
I remember
so
people
this, of course,
on your last video, they said Trifon was talking about the war. I forgot what you were saying in the last video, but the war started. And people were saying also that you mentioned the region of Egypt, that something is happening. And a friend who lives in Egypt said something big is happening there now. There's like a revolt happening, protests as well, and something big as well there. I forgot what you said, but they said it's coming true, whatever you were talking about.
Yeah, the entire region is definitely in turmoil this moment. So this is in relation to the comet and the eclipse that happened. Because the comet also later was close to Mars, and the ancients are saying that this intensifies wars, which happened. The predatory beasts that are mentioned, of course, we saw that these are actually humans, which is not so strange, the ancients to talk in a little bit in riddles. But finally, the meaning is clear. And the mentioning of the region of Babylon indicates probably that, and everybody knows that this is true, that important leaders from the entire region are involved. In addition, I will remind you, I was talking about the occultation of the star Antares by the moon, which happened last month and happened once also this month. And this occultation was visible only from Asia.
Mm-hmm.
This means that the moon goes over, so to say, the star. She is not visible because of the body on the moon. This is called occultation, and it is given special meaning in the ancient texts. Now, the star Antares symbolizes generals.
And wars.
Yes, so that's why I said that the generals of the East will have probably big problems. And this, in certain ways, this happened in September, but much more so now in October this year. No more occultations, by the way, but I guess this is enough. In addition, the eclipse. Let's comment on the eclipse. So, the eclipse is in Virgo, which is the sign of Greece and Babylon, the region of Mesopotamia. Obviously, this is not good for the countries like Iran, Iraq, and in general, those around. For Greece as well, this was also mentioned. Yesterday, one of the oldest churches that are related to the Greeks was destroyed, for instance. So this is working. However, the eclipse is close also to the spiritual star called Spica. How this relates to the events? I never before looked to the chart of Israel, the astrological chart, but it happened that they have a known chart. So I looked at the chart. The ascendant of Israel is in conjunction with the star Spica. The spiritual star Spica is there. The eclipse happened to be only like 2-3 degrees from the ascendant. And 1 week before the eclipse, it's reasonable the eclipse to be actually activated, which actually happened. Now, this also relates to what I mentioned, that there will be criminal actions against spiritual things and places in general, crimes against spiritual laws. So the attack that happened on a religious day, religious festival, I think.
Oh, it's all a
for
criminal thing.
them.
What is happening? It's killing
Yes,
people.
yes. This is,
Churches
I
and
was,
hospitals. It's crazy.
so now people often are saying that I'm too dark, but I'm having the sense that this time I was too soft, because I knew very well what this can mean, that Mars and the South Node will go with Spica. I knew that this is meaning horrible things. And this happened. One of the meanings of Spica is that it represents the fruit or the wheat in the hand of the heavenly woman.
The wheat. She carries
yes, the result. But this, of course, also is considered to be also symbol of a child, as the fruit of a woman is a child.
Yes, sometimes Virgo constellation is depicted as the Virgin Madonna with the child, or Isis.
Yes. In Christianity, in Christianity, we can associate Virgo with the Mother of Jesus Christ, right? And Spica represents potentially Jesus Christ. But this type of thinking was present in ancient times. For instance, in Egypt, probably this star was associated with, again, with the heavenly child, the child of Isis.
Isis, Horus, yeah.
So this is not a new idea, okay? The idea is that there is a great spiritual essence in it, and it is related to children. And the worst things that actually happened were abduction of children, hostages, children, and hundreds and hundreds of children who are, after all, innocent, dying in the attacks. So this is the most horrific thing. And this is shown by the eclipse close to the star, and also by the South Node and Mars making simultaneous conjunction upon the position on the path of the sun of this star. And now we can see how important is actually the star Spica, with all those meanings of spirituality and children.
And being eclipsed, obviously, what's happening.
So these are some comments from what have been said and what actually happened. Now, let's begin slowly about the next days and some things about to happen next year. this will be in the end, right?
Okay, so we'll talk about the new comment at the end. By the way, before we start, I just want to let people know that Trifon is starting to offer 2024 personal readings for what's going to be happening in your personal life using Sidereal, Babylonian astrology, ancient astrology. There is a very nice discount for the next couple of weeks if you'd like to have a reading with Trifon for 2024. I will put the link below in the description the moment I make the link while Trifon is talking.
Okay, so what is happening now? Several things. First, there will be a new eclipse, lunar eclipse. It is happening right on the border between the first and the second decan in Aries. So 9 degrees 58 minutes in Aries, which is, you can say, almost the 10 degree. So there are different meanings for the first 10 degrees and the second 10 degrees, but I will have to mention them both, of course, because the eclipse actually will happen in both places. Well, it starts in the first place and continues in the next. So, well, it does not sound scary, by the way, but it's in Aries, which is one of the signs that is associated with Israel by the ancients. Other signs associated with Aries, other countries associated with Aries, well, in the ancient traditions, these are places like Bactria, which is to say modern Afghanistan. They already had an earthquake, but also in general, Western Europe, and mostly Germany, France, and Britain.
Kind of like the Aryan race type of.
Yes. So this, of course, is a warning for those places that there can be more challenging events and dangers happening in those countries. Aries, also the ancients are saying that any eclipse in Aries shows dangers of wars, intensifying wars again. Now, in addition, the ancients are mentioning that this will bring burning heat and droughts in certain places, dryness of the air. This is one meaning. Another meaning is plague, sudden deaths, and destruction of cattle. If it is destruction of cattle, I guess this is sheep because it's Aries.
Did you say plague?
Yes, plague.
Plague. Wow. Okay.
They are saying it. Now, however, something else. When the eclipse is happening, Jupiter will be nearby. So Jupiter is expected to be seen close to the moon at the time of the eclipse. And actually, the ancients are saying that this means the negative influence of the eclipse will be balanced, mitigated to a big part. Then it must mean that the problems indicated will be resolved. This is actually a very important part of the whole thing. Jupiter present indicates the problems will be resolved. Okay, so in addition, so this is about the eclipse, right? More things about the eclipse can be mentioned when the eclipse has been already actually seen, because the movement of the shadow and everything else surrounding the eclipse can have some additional comments. Now, in the beginning of November, there is another important event going to happen, and this is the phase of Saturn. Saturn turns from retrograde to direct. So it means that the 7 days before Saturn starts to be direct are already ruled by Saturn, and the next 7 days after 4th of November are again ruled by him. Now, the last days before he makes this phase means that he will be showing his difficult influence. So now we are in the time of his difficult influence. We can say it's more karmic time. There is much more bad things going on. Harsh times, difficult times. probably for people related with this planet, and in general, more troubles for the world, we can say. However, when it starts to be direct, the problems will start to get resolved. This is, of course, very true for people who are ruled by Saturn in some way, like in sidereal signs, those who have, like you, Capricorn rising or Aquarius rising, or in tropical Western astrology used signs, these are Aquarius, again, rising, and Pisces, however, Pisces rising. So those people will see some positive developments in their lives, including financial, for those who have sidereal Capricorn or tropical Aquarius rising sign. And for the others, maybe very complex situations will start to get resolved, those who are involving secrets, expenditure, and suffering. This is for the people who are having Aquarius sidereal rising and Pisces tropical rising.
Wait, it falls in the first house. The Saturn turning direct.
Yes, yes, yes. So this is important time for them to start to resolve the issues and to see what the issues are. In addition, I can say for those who have sidereal Aquarius rising or Pisces in Western astrology, Saturn can review things that are not so pleasant, but will start to offer also ways to resolve them. One of the dangers for those people is that they have to take care not to deal with health issues potentially, maybe not certain, maybe not for them directly, but for some who are maybe older, it's possible to be for them. So this is about Saturn. Saturn is always serious. From the point of view of economy, this is also good. This can indicate some improvement on the market of property. In general, some more realistic situation with prices of everything.
That's impossible. I don't think
I think
prices
it's impossible.
are realistic.
Saturn is always about justice, and if needed, he will make certain organizations or financial institutions fail in order balance to come.
You know that there's 45% less sales and buys of property in the States currently than previous years. That's like it's destroyed the property market almost.
Yes, yes, the situation is really difficult from financial economical point of view, definitely. But now Saturn, if something can change things for good, these are the good positions of Saturn and Jupiter. This is always what brings better situation. If Saturn is somehow better situated, or Jupiter. Now Saturn will make this position, which will improve the overall situation. And again, in the end of the year, literally 30th of December, Jupiter will make the same move, which is again a good thing for the economy.
And they'll hold the sextile the first 4 months of the year, pretty much. They're already in a sextile, but they'll hold it for, yeah.
Yes, this good aspect is definitely helping. More helping than not, at least. So, what else is going on? The South Node that entered the last degree of Virgo, where Spica is, continues to be there in the same degree, this month and next month. So similar problems are present. In addition,
You mean
the
similar problems like we were talking, desecration of holy spiritual laws, which is, we see the war now and so on.
yes, and maybe things related to karma about those topics. As the South Node represents, according to Vedic astrologers, represents exit of this world, but also represents karma, paying for things happening in the past, karmic events. Now, in this degree falls out also the ray of another fixed star, which is also a very important star, the star Arcturus. Arcturus, from the constellation Bootes, called also the bear guard, because it represents a warrior. The entire constellation, where Arcturus is the main star, represents a warrior who is standing against the beast, the big bear. So there is the meaning of the meaning of the name Arcturophylactus. This is ancient Greek. Is actually a sort of defender. So this star is associated with defending the weak, the helpless. And of course, it is related to the military. It is related to wars, especially those who are intending to give some protection. So now the south node there means that there will be, of course, big challenges for people who are trying to defend the helpless. This is in a way also karmic. Then let's comment also about other positions. By the way, tomorrow there is an important aspect between Venus and Jupiter, a trine in the sidereal signs Leo for Venus and Aries for Jupiter. This will bring certain improvement in the events of the world, some hope for peace or help for the people suffering. For the rest of humanity, Venus and Jupiter aspect to each other will raise hopes and will increase the strength of desires. But people have to be actually careful with this. Because in India, for instance, ancient astrological tradition of India, Venus and Jupiter are actually enemies. So they are not producing only good things. They can make people to be tempted to take too much or to desire too much. So there is a need of balance. However, this aspect, nevertheless, will bring great and happy developments for many, and especially those who are ruled by Venus and Jupiter. Remember, in Sidereal, these are the signs, the rising signs, Taurus and Libra, and Pisces and Sagittarius. In tropical Western astrology used signs, these are Gemini and Scorpio, and Aries and Capricorn. So all those will have somehow better time, or at least better weekend now, I guess. So enjoy. Now later, also in November, Venus, the planet of peace, will enter the sign of her debilitation, Virgo. 3rd of November is the ingression. The entire month she's there, and this is, of course, not so good for prospects of peace. In general, for people who are ruled by Venus, also is not the best month in the year. People ruled by Venus, again, Sidereal, Taurus, and Libra, tropical Gemini, and Scorpio. These are the rising signs. There are some specific moments which are a little bit more challenging in the next month. This is when the moon is invisible. Starting 12th of November, she becomes invisible. And then on the 14th of November, the moon rises in Scorpio, which is the sign of war and mortality. Again, gives for the next 30 days after that a sign that are not like the best times of the year. The last 2 months, the moon each time was rising with Mars. Even though Mars is invisible, we can see actually that this is important. So we have a lot of associations with the energies of Mars for the last 2 months and the next month and a half, definitely, because of the stations of the moon. Now, after that, on the 18th of November, the Sun will make a conjunction with Mars in the first degree of Scorpio. This is commented by astrologers as a new cycle of Mars. To a part, it holds true. Mars and the Sun, they can indicate problems for the politicians, for the rulers. And of course, this can lead to problems for them and to greater conflicts. And the sign Scorpio is associated with the Middle East. This includes as well Syria and Turkey and the Arabic countries in general. So the situation does not look better in that time. So I guess around those in the middle of the month is one of the most challenging periods. What else? Before this happens, there is one very important and special combination actually that is going to be on the 29th of October, like in 8 days. It's already starting to form. So what will happen in the sky is that Mercury and Mars will make a conjunction. But in opposition to this conjunction, in exact opposition, I mean, Jupiter will stand. So this is actually already will be active in the time of the lunar eclipse on the previous day. So what it means, of course, bad time for traveling or making new deals. There are dangers of accidents or terrorist attacks. Jupiter is opposed by Mercury and Mars. This is not good in general for children and good people. People who are signified by Jupiter can be people who are noble or wealthy or in high positions. Let's just say for the common man, this means those of us who are actually moral and honest people. And Mercury and Mars making opposition shows the suffering and danger of plots and deceptions for those people. So activation of some negative tendencies in that time. However, the opposition of Jupiter to Mercury and Mars is supposed also to reveal the truth or what actually is going on to many. So there will be a lot of moral conflicts going on in that time. So big moral conflicts on personal and mundane level, 29th of October. Finally, there are some really good things also that are going to happen in the sky in November. First, the star Spica, that symbolizes, you already know, spirituality, and it's related to children. And it's also on the ascendant of the modern Republic of Israel. So this star will rise on the 6th of November. She rises 6th of November each year. But this year, this is seemingly more important because it means that more love and understanding and compassion will enter this world in that time. More help, more hope, and maybe problems related to children will start to get resolved, or at least let's hope. It's a day that can be used for spiritual practice or new beginnings. Of course, those that are born on this day have great spiritual qualities and interests, usually. A similar thing is happening on the 18th of November, when the star Vega, which is also one of the most powerful spiritual stars, also will rise. It is the star associated with healing, as she was considered a goddess of healing in ancient times. However, she is also related to love, to compassion, calming of mind, even music. So this star is also rising, and this will bring additional love, compassion, and help. 18th of November. So these are usually Scorpio-associated dates. So people are tending to think that someone is Scorpio and have some bad qualities, but now, surprise, 6th and 18th of November are very different. And now let's see what else, actually. Okay. I think now it's time to give the astrological bump, so to say.
Yeah.
So, a couple of days ago, I saw in the news that a new and important comet actually is about to appear in the skies next year, in 2024. This is supposed to happen April through June, with the best visibility in May and June, from what I know. So, and this new comet, in size, she is similar to the Halley comet. The visibility and the brightness can be, it is something that is still to be seen. So it's not sure how bright she will be, but it is known that she will be seen with naked eye. We will be able to see a great spectacle in the skies.
Do you know the
Next year.
colors?
No, we cannot know so far about the color, but
If it's a repeating cycle, has it been noticed before?
yes, it was, but I don't know about the color yet. However, I have seen what happens when the comet, this comet especially, appeared in the past. Two times, well, each time when she appears, there is a war first, each time. The last time when she appeared was the year 1954, when the Vietnam War started. Now I'm giving you a hint. Another time was 1812th year, when there was another war involving USA and UK and Canada. And each time when she's appearing, usually what is happening is that there is a great conflict in Asia involving USA or the so-called colonial powers from the past 200 years. Very often China is involved. Two of the wars were directly involved with China when the comet was visible.
Oh, wow.
The so-called Indo-China wars are involved and other China-related conflicts. So it seems that this comet is indicating great probability of having a big conflict in Asia. Of course, what comes to everyone's mind will be Taiwan. So I'm giving now great warning. Try not to have war in Asia next year, if possible. I mean, for the people responsible to this, try
If they're watching. If they're watching.
try not to have it, or it will be a big thing. It will be a big thing. Each time in the previous appearances of this comet, this actually have happened.
Isn't also part of Asia, all the countries that are at war now?
I think, no, this comet seems to indicate the Middle East, not the Middle East, but Central Asia and East Asia, actually. Or the Americas involved. Always USA somehow involved when this comet is there. If it was something else in the history books, I would have told you, but this is what I saw in the history books. Yeah. So, and we know that the comets, when they appear, very usual is that they portend some disaster and wars. And it seems that this comet will be bright this time. And it seems that it can bring more troubles than we in the world, I mean, have even now. So this, of course, will, if happens, it will affect everything. including the world of finances, right? So what to say, people? Live your life as best as you can, because it seems that the times are about to become even more interesting. Remember the ancient Chinese curse of the monk that saw his monastery destroyed by the maybe Mongol invaders?
May you live in
Because he's spiritual, he was not able to say something bad, so he said only, let you live in interesting times.
We definitely are. And we definitely, I think if we're on this earth, we must be prepared for that because we chose to come on this earth now. And they've always been conflicts. I mean, I can't think what our great grandparents or grandparents went through with First and Second World War. But it's looking up a bit like a Third World War. What do you think on that topic?
Well, this comet, it seems that it's not indicating so great conflict as the World War, but definitely indicates somehow bigger conflict. My personal opinion is, even though I see how it sounds, because with all going on, additional conflict in Asia is literally almost like having in mind the current circumstances and alliances and connections between countries. It seems that this can sound like a world war, yes. But from my opinion, it's not so big. However, well, let's remind about the prediction given by the spiritual teacher and master Peter Danov from Bulgaria 100 years ago, when the First World War was about to start. He said to his students, now, if humanity does not learn the lesson of love, there will be a war, 20 million people will die. Then he said, 30 years later, if the lesson still not learned, another war, 50 million people will die. And then he said, if the lesson not learned 100 years later, which is basically closing, I think, he said there will be another big war, and then 500 million people will die. This is at least, of course, I have not heard this personally, but I'm reading about this prediction that has been given. So
yeah,
maybe it has been given really, right?
Yeah, it was from his words, and because I read a lot of his what his students were writing everything he was saying, so I've met it quite a few times. So I hope
So
not.
this is another warning for the world politicians to think where they are heading for and what they are doing and how much efforts they should put so that further escalation is not happening.
But I think it's also a warning for us because it starts from the grassroots. If we have hatred in our hearts and if we're asking for revenge and if we're in our hearts want like, oh, supporting wars, if we're not within our hearts, I think even the politicians will not proceed. But I guess a part of the world is still with that mentality that
it's complex. Wars are not happening just like that. Sometimes there are big reasons behind it, but always there is, of course, too much destruction, too much suffering to be worthy. So, and even sometimes there is someone saying the worst peace is better than best war, I guess. So let's hope those things will not happen, but there are signs of possible escalation in the sky. We'll be commenting in the coming months again about the comet, about the history of the comet, and when the comet appears, additional information related to the appearance and the surrounding signs and so on. So this is just the beginning of a conversation and a warning.
Thank you.
Okay, people, I think this is enough for now. The astrological bomb has been
dropped.
Exploded, right? Exploded. So having in mind what the comment already meant that this one, Nishimura, that came in August, Now, this other that is that definitely will be more impressive. Well, we'll see.
Thank you so much, Trifon. Thank you everyone for joining us live. If you're watching this video after that, may God bless you. May you have peace in your hearts, and may we turn around this in a positive way.
Take care, everybody. See you next month, hopefully.
Thank you. And if you'd like a reading with Trifon for 2024, I'm putting a link below to contact him. The offer is valid till November 15th only, $100 off. So it's only $199 for a yearly reading with Trifon. Thank you.